The more individually ambitious I am, you might say selfish, the more I bring people towards me. Welcome to Running Commentary. This is a seated version while I recover from a broken toe. Long story involving a kettlebell. I had a conversation with a very smart colleague recently, and one comment of his was, why not start from the collective? Now, we were discussing the age old issue of how much collectivism should be in a society. As you'll know, I'm very much on the side of the importance of individualism, human action, as Hayek would put it. But I absolutely see the value of the collective. There's a balance. We are pointless, useless, and pathetic on our own. We only gain strength as part of a tribe or a collective. But as history has shown us, over collectivization is very damaging. So my case is, why not start with the individual? Why? Because the self-interested, maybe even selfish individual can't not reach out and bring people in to form collectives. We don't know the perfect degree of collectivization. I think what we do know, however, is that we need experimentation with this. We have to experiment with different sizes and types of collectivization. And we need a healthy dose of individualism. We can bring this down to a microcosm of our own lives. We need time where we sit alone with a spreadsheet or with a book or whatever it may be. We need time in small meetings. We need time in large meetings. The same can be applied to arranging society. We need individuals who take human action in the Hayekian sense. But again, we are pathetic and weak without groups. To start with the collective, to me, damages some important mechanisms. One is the experimentation. When we start with a large, strong collective, we set in place big systems that are very hard to experiment with. They become too big to fail. And we see this very often with government institutions. They get past their sell-by date, but because there are so many vested interests, they keep attracting more and more money. And they persist when society would be far better getting rid of them and experimenting with new ones. It comes back to the economic calculation debate at its extreme, central planning versus individual action. So this brings me to a saying that I often bring out. Individualism is the original ubuntu. The more individually ambitious we are, the more ubuntu we act. As paradoxical as that sounds, and I'm quite sure as silly as some people will denounce it as. I see this entire debate with great importance today in South Africa. I think we are vastly over-centralized, over-collectivized, and we have a lot to gain by getting away from that and appreciating the importance of individual action, individual freedom. I'll take just one example, the vast ownership and operatorship of the state in rail. Thomas Sowell tells us to look at the results of policies, not just whether they sound good. It sounds good to have a smart central body of some sort to plan out a fantastic rail system and mostly manage it itself. But let's look at the results. South Africa's rail has all but collapsed. And to me, the obvious solution is to not keep doing what we're doing. And I would suggest that the solution lies in a move towards more individualism away from collectivization. In practical terms, I would suggest that means selling rail infrastructure and letting that play out, letting the private sector do their thing, letting entrepreneurs do their own calculation, and then in concert with customers. And it will be flawed. There will be painful friction along the way, but to keep doing what we're doing would be perhaps the worst thing. And I would suggest that the criticism that allowing individual ownership, individual action, a more individualistic economic calculation would distribute goods in the fairest way, the most productive way. And I think, again, the individualization will be the spark for the best parts of Ubuntu.